everyone, it's ShyGuy768, and welcome back to another Deck Tech, the Commander Deck Tech series. Today I'm going to be going over my Grand Arbiter Augustine the 4th deck. As you can see here, what she does is, or I guess it, I don't know if it's a he or a she, but what they do is, it's a 4 mana, 2 and a white and a blue for a 2/3 legendary creature human advisor. And it says white spells you cast cost 1 colorless less to cast, and blue spells you cast cost 1 colorless less to cast as well. And then it says spells your opponent's cast, cost 1 colorless more to cast. So this deck is obviously, if not already, a control deck. It's meant specifically to make everyone else's stuff like cost more and just control the board, and it's like a tax deck almost, with as many tax effects as I could get in there. So that's Commander. We'll set it over here, just outside of frame. Okay, guys. So we'll get to the land base first. So I'm running Myriad Landscape. It's just in order to get, this is a mostly basics deck, because it's only 2 colors. So we're running this to get 2 basics at a time from 1 land. Really good, really useful in 2 color decks. Then Reliquary Tower, obviously, to give us no max hand size, because this deck loves that. Because it draws a lot of cards, and Jin Gitaxias is the main reason. It makes us draw a ton, and you really need no max hand size in this. So we got Reliquary Tower. Then we have Halimar Depths. It's like a ponder on a land. Early, it's good to search for things, and even late, it's really decent. It comes in tapped, but that really doesn't matter early or late. I just have it in here for the ponder ability. Then we have this staple Command Tower. Hallowed Fountain, obviously. Temple of Enlightenment, the Scry Land, obviously. Adarkar Waste, the Pain Land. Glacial Fortress, obviously. Port Town, Prairie Stream, and Flooded Plain, the tapped Ice Age fetch land. Or Mirage, whatever it's called. Then we have 13 of each basic, so we have 13 plains. Right? And then we have 13 islands. So that completes the land base. Now we will move on to the creature spells. Okay, so the creature spells are... There's not very many in this pile. There's less than, I'd say, maybe 20 or 25. Less than that, maybe, even. Well, the creature spells are Reflector Mage, just because this prevents people from casting something we really don't want being cast for another turn, so that we can find our counter spell to deal with it, or a board wipe or something to deal with a big threat. And then we have Cataclysmic Gerhulk. Just obviously a cataclysm on a creature. What's really cool about this is you can choose him as the artifact or the creature, and then choose another creature. So that you have actually 2 creatures instead of just 1 off of a cataclysm normally. You can choose him as the artifact, and say if we had Reflector Mage, you could choose Reflector Mage as the creature, and they'd both stay out. But we just run him because he's a 4/5 Vigilance Beater. He's really awesome. He's a board wipe, and what's better than that, right? Okay, then we have Jace's Archivist. This is important because this gives us the ability to redraw our hand, sort of, kind of. We discard all the cards in our hand, and each player does, and then they draw equal to the greatest number of cards discarded this way, and most of the time it's going to be us because we're drawing so much. And if we have no max hand size, then that's awesome, because we just get to draw right back past 7 and, have all the new cards. he's only useful as long as he's not like discarding your only card, really. I mean, paying a blue and tapping him and discarding one card is not good. I'd say in order for him to be even remotely useful, you have to have 2, 3 at least cards in your hand. Then we have the white Acroma Angel of Wrath. She's got Flying, First Strike, Trample, Haste, and Protection from black and pro red. And she has Vigilance as well. Just, it's worded, attacking doesn't cause Acroma Angel of Wrath to tap. And she's a 6/6 for 8. Just a really big beater. Most of the time we'll just get in because they don't have blockers for her. And just a really good finisher for us. And then we have Jin-Gitaxias, speaking of which. He is a 5/4 for 9, or for 10, rather. Legendary creature Praetor with Flash. And at the beginning of your end step, draw 7 cards. And each opponent's maximum hand size is reduced by 7. So, what happens with him is they're all discarding their hands. And we're drawing 7 every turn. And this is where having no max hand size is really key. Because you could draw your entire deck in the space of like 10 turns. Even less than that. And you need a way to keep all your cards in your hand that you can't cast in one turn. And being able to have no max hand size is like really, really, really key to running him. But even if you don't, he is a 5/4 and he's got Flash that you can just block any creature at instant speed. And we run him to draw us more cards and to finish the game. Then we have Angel of Serenity. Just removal on a creature. She's really, really awesome. She's a 5/6 flyer, another really good finisher if we need to use her to finish. But really, she's there to get rid of troublesome creatures and, just keep the board clear. Then we have Sunblast Angel. She is a 4/5 flyer for 6. And when she enters the battlefield, destroy all tapped creatures. Obviously, she's just a big wrath. That's what we run her for. And she's a pretty good beater as well. And we have Archangel of Tithes. Archangel of Tithes is part of the tax effects in this deck. She's a 3/5 flyer for 4, 1 and 3 white. As long as she is untapped, creatures can't attack you or a planeswalker you control unless their controller pays 1 colorless mana for each of those creatures. And then it also says, as long as Archangel of Tithes is attacking, creatures can't block unless their controller pays 1 colorless for each of those creatures. So this is awesome because this also goes into the attacking phase. So we can attack and then they can't block us unless they pay 1 per creature. And then they can't attack us unless they pay 1 per creature. As long as she's untapped. But most of the time we're not swinging in with her anyway. But when we do swing in and we have the ability to swing in with her, we swing in with her so that nothing else really gets blocked. And we have Ulamog, the Infinite Gyre. He is a big Eldrazi. 10/10 Annihilator 4. When you cast him, destroy target permanent. And he's indestructible, and he has the Graveyard Clause that most of the big Eldrazi's have. Whenever he's put into a graveyard from anywhere, its owner shuffles his or her graveyard into his or her library. So that includes the Ulamog or the Kozilek or the Emrakul. We just run Ulamog because he's a big beater. He's oftentimes the way we finish the game if it goes long enough, if we don't just stall everyone out. He's just a big 10/10, indestructible, hard to deal with, one of the best creatures in this deck. And then we have Mole Drifter. Just a 2/2 flyer that when it enters, we draw 2 cards. Great card advantage, great flyer. Not really the biggest flyer, but Mole Drifter is Mole Drifter, and we gotta run it. Then we have Solemn Simulacrum. I've talked about this in all the other deck texts I've done. A staple in Commander, Solemn Simulacrum. And then we have Chasm Skulker. You can't really see it too well on camera, but whenever it says it's a 1/1 for 3, and whenever you draw a card, put a 1/1 counter on Chasm Skulker. And when it dies, you put X 1/1 blue squid creature tokens with Island Walk onto the battlefield, where X is the number of 1/1 counters on him. So what we want to do is play him, then draw a bunch of cards, get a whole bunch of counters on him, and then if he ever dies, we get all those squids to help block other creatures with too. He trades down for he doesn't go away very easily in the fact that he gives us little squid tokens after he dies. So he's in effect there after he's not really there, if that makes sense. Then we have Thassa, just there to scry and make things unblockable and become a creature herself eventually when we have 5 devotion. And then, yeah, just there to make creatures unblockable and to scry for us. Then we have Snapcaster Mage. Really important in this deck because flashing back instants and sorceries is mainly mainly what this guy does. Yes. But we run Snapcaster because most of the deck is instants and sorceries, and it will be able to be flashed. Anything we have mostly will be able to be flashed back and used again. So we run with Snapcaster. That takes care of the creature spells. Now let's get on to the non-creature spells. Okay, for the non-creature spells, this is a big stack. I'm going to be going through this kind of quick just to save some time. But we have Swords to Plowshares, a kill spell. Really good in Commander. Sensei's Divining Top, staple in Commander. Cyclonic Rift, another staple. Dovin Bond, he's a new Planeswalker. He's just there to draw us cards, gain life, and reduce the power of other creatures. He's like a Jace Architect of Thought in that way. But in addition to what his +1 does is -3/-0 to a creature, and its activated abilities can't be activated. So that makes the creature almost completely useless that turn. That's why we run Dovin Bond. And then we have Jace Beleren. I would say he's a Commander staple, baby Jace in Commander. If you can run him, often people do. And then Blatant Thievery, which I don't see very much of in Commander, but I wonder why. It says for each opponent, gain control of target permanent that player controls, and it costs 7 mana, 4 and 3 blue. This just basically giving us we're taking their biggest threat, we're taking their finishers, and using them against them. And that's why we have this in the deck. It helps us finish games if we are stalled out and we can't do much. Then we have Time Reversal to help us redraw our hand if our hand's no good. We have Blind Obedience to help us not take damage early in the game, and to make artifacts come in tapped if they're playing an artifact deck that runs on being able to instant or hasty tap their artifacts and kill us. This prevents that for at least 1 turn. Then we have Counterspell. We have a lot of these in here, not specifically Counterspell, but we have a lot of counter spells in the deck because it is blue-white, and I said it was control, and countering things is my favorite type of control. So this just specifically counters target spell. Then we have Mystical Tutor to be able to search for any instant or sorcery we are missing and put it on top of our library. And then we have Oblivion Ring, more permanent removal. Thought Vessel for more max hand, for another source of no max hand size, which is really important, like I've said, for Jin Gitaxias and Sphinx's Revelation and things like that. Then we have Staple Soul Ring. Knowing Xanax to help with the tax effects for them not being able to attack us. Absorb, another counterspell, but this one gains us 3 life. Azorius Signet, a staple in Commander. Fumigate, just a big board wipe that gains us life when something dies. Cast Through Time. Instant or sorcery spells we control have Rebound for 7 mana, 4 and 3 blue. This just makes everything come back again type of thing. Like, it's almost like Flashback, but we're casting it for free the next turn. The next time we cast it. That's why you run that. And then we have Entreat the Angels, another finisher. Big finisher in white. Expropriate. Expropriate's insane, giving you extra turns or taking control of people's stuff. Granted, they vote for it, but I mean, what I love about this is it's not a will of the council. It's not whoever votes for the thing the most. That's what you get. No, it's each person votes, and you get that effect from each person. And then we have Mimic Vet, a staple in Commander. Venser, the Sojourner, another staple. Then we have Sphinx's Revelation. One of the best cards in the deck. Gains us life, keeps us alive, and draws us cards. Then we have Supreme Verdict, another board wipe. That's uncounterable, very important. Occasionally we run up against other control decks and other decks that run counter spells, and this is important. Being able to not have it countered is awesome. We have Cryptic Command, a really awesome counter spell, and it's multiple other things too. It returns returns a permanent to its owner's hand, taps all the opponent's creatures, and draws us a card, importantly. And we have Terminus, a board wipe, but not really, kind of. Just puts everything to the bottom. Aetherize puts everything back into the hand. Mystic Confluence, another counterspell that can return target creature to its owner's hand or draw us a card. Or all 3. Then we have Elspeth, Sun's Champion. Just there to make some tokens, some blockers, and maybe wipe the board, and maybe ultimate eventually to pump our creatures up and make them finishers. We have Austere Command to destroy enchantments and creatures. Another counterspell in Void Shatter. This is like Dissipate. Return to Dust for those artifacts and enchantments we need to get rid of. Path to Exile, more creature removal. Martial Coup, another board wipe that gives us tokens afterwards. Blue Sun Zenith, there to draw us cards. Arcane Denial, another counterspell. Ponder, to draw us cards. Authority of the Consuls, to keep creatures coming in tapped and prevent them from attacking us the turn they come in. Stops haste. And then we have Factor Fiction, a way to find stuff that we need. Really important. Ghostly Prison, another tax effect similar to Propaganda. Wrath of God, another wrath. Propaganda, same thing as Ghostly Prison. Remand, another counterspell. Then we have Rhystic Study. Rhystic Study is whenever an opponent plays a spell, you can draw a card unless that player pays 1. Oftentimes people don't really care about you drawing cards, and they'll let you, just draw forever, and whenever they're casting spells, they only have to pay 1 mana, but I mean, people are like, I like my mana, so I'm not going to spend it. Just to prevent you from drawing your card, and then you draw into whatever you need, you draw into a counter spell, and then it's just worse off for them. So we run Rhystic Study to draw some cards. Then we run Metallurgic Summonings. This is a brand new edition. Just there to give us another win condition. Whenever we cast our instants or sorceries, we create XX tokens, where X is the converted mana cost of the spell that we cast. And then it also can return all of our instants and sorceries from the graveyard to our hand. And then we have Narset, Transcendent, the Planeswalker. She's there to give all our spells rebound and to find us some non-creature spells to cast and help us with filtering through our deck. And that takes care of the non-creature spells and actually the entire deck. So let me know what you thought about this deck. Any ideas that you might, any suggestions that you might have to upgrade this deck. Leave them in the comments below. If you liked it, make sure you like the video and subscribe to me on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Follow me there to stay up to date on the videos that are coming out. Stay tuned for more videos, and thank you for watching, guys. But until next time, keep on gaming. We'll see you later.